Hello there. Several months ago, I talked about bleeding of lightsaber crystals, and I also talked about how the bleeding of a lightsaber crystal is done by effectively pouring all your hatred, your anger, your suffering, and the dark side energy that you have pooling within yourself into a kyber crystal, causing it to feel pain and causing it to bleed. So today we are going to be talking about the opposite of bleeding a lightsaber crystal, and that is the purification of a lightsaber crystal and how to purify it with the power of the light side. So without further ado, here we go. But first, as always, we start at the very beginning. The original concept of purifying a lightsaber crystal comes all the way from Legends continuity, and it is actually called cleansing. Jaden Core, the main protagonist of Jedi Academy, basically took the lightsaber of Cam Solar's clone Alpha, took the red lightsaber, and Jaden decided to make it his own, and reluctant to use the red crystal, but he didn't want an inadequate blade, so Core removed the crystal and cleansed it of all of its impurities, fixing the blade and changing the color from red to yellow. This effectively started the trend of purifying a lightsaber crystal, and then it was adapted later on down the line, as Ahsoka Tano was the first Jedi in the novelization known obviously as Ahsoka to actually purify a lightsaber crystal and turn it into a pure white. So the description of how to basically purify a lightsaber crystal is like this. To heal it, you must do the opposite. Use the light side and your joy and hope to create resonance to offset the pain created by the bleeding. It is not a battle, it is soothing, a calming, a healing. That was what Greta said to Luke Skywalker as he was about to try and purify a lightsaber crystal for the first time, but unfortunately he failed. And the basic process of purifying a lightsaber crystal was effectively to take all the dark side energy that was in the crystal, causing it to bleed, and basically eject it from the crystal itself and transform it into a pure white lightsaber crystal, which is what Ahsoka Tano did after she defeated one of the Inquisitorius and took his lightsaber crystals away from him, and basically purified the crystals by injecting all of her hope, her happiness, and literally everything having to do with the light side into the crystals, resonating with it, and soothing it, calming it, and healing it until it turned into a solid white color, and she was able to use them effectively. But it's also just more than actually just purifying the crystal itself. It's also empathizing with the person who originally bled it and understanding what led them to the dark side in the first place, and only then could the damage to the lightsaber crystal be undone, and only then could the kyber crystal turn from red to white. By also doing this, you must enter a trance-like state, effectively communicating with the crystal, learning its history as well as the history of the one who actually bled the crystal in the first place. Once this was accomplished, the would-be healer would attempt to impart their own positive emotions, such as joy and hope, into the crystal, causing it to unlearn the pain of its previous owner. If performed successfully, the healer would emerge from their trance profoundly changed from the experience, and the once red crystal would glow a brilliant white light. But of course, just like how a kyber crystal can fight against being bled, obviously a bled lightsaber crystal can be fighting against the power to try and turn it into a purified crystal. So there's obviously that. So the process would go like this. The individual trying to heal the kyber crystal would learn about the kyber crystal itself, as well as the individual that bled it in the first place, understand why that person turned to the dark side and bled their lightsaber crystal, and then after learning everything that they know about that individual and everything that they know about the kyber crystal itself, inject all of their positive emotions, like their happiness, their joy, their willpower, and everything attributed to the light side into the kyber crystal to try and heal it, while also possibly fighting against the resistance coming from the kyber crystal that refuses to be purified. And after a trance-like state where you come out as a completely different person or a completely changed individual, you then emerge with a white glowing light that comes from the kyber crystal itself that has now been purified. Also, I feel like I should mention this. There was actually a Torguta Jedi by the name of Jorah Malay that actually purified a lightsaber crystal immediately following the defeat of the Sith during about 1052 BBY. So that's very nice to know, and that is the very first instance in canon, according to the Jedi records, where an individual actually purified a Jedi bled kyber crystal.